the studio here, we're looking at public-private partnership. How would you describe the state of PPP in the country now?
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon to our listeners, our viewers. PPP, there's a lot of talk about PPP in the country now, and we talk more than has achieved so far. The reason being that it's a new concept, it's a new area, and everybody is talking about it, and the expectation is that they will begin to see something happening. But PPPs are not like that. You know, we need to take time before we can go into them. It is, PPPs happens when there's a contractual relationship between a government entity, a state entity, and a private entity. So that relationship has to be forged in a way that the state will not suffer, the people will not suffer. So you don't rush into it. And that's how come we are tarrying, delaying, so that when we come out with the first batch of PPPs, we can be sure that they are what we want and that they are properly done, there's value for money, and people will be happy when they are carried out.
Now, you've touched on a number of things, and the one that really rings the bell is the bit about value for money.
Yeah.
In the past, would you say that PPPs have failed? That is why you're taking a look back to reconsider and put in certain measures. And for you, what will be the way forward?
Well, in the past, I don't know which projects you are referring to, but
we've seen some with SADA, we've seen some.
Man, the private entity will have its cash. Example, want to construct Kumasi Accra dualize the road. Government doesn't have money to do that. We are looking forward to seeing an individual business entity that comes up to say we are going to do it, and we run it for 20 years and hand it over to government.
So the entity is solely funding these projects?
They solely will fund the project. So they are very unlike those ones that happened in the past, where government had money, chose an entity and say go and do this, and then they pay them. You know, we don't want to go that direction any longer, and that is strictly not PPP. You know, in PPP, there is a relationship between the two parties. There is a subject, which is the particular construction we are going to do, and mostly is for infrastructure and either the management of it or the construction of it. And that relationship is spelled out in an agreement, and we expect that it will even go through parliamentary approvals before the entity starts the work.
Now, last year we did speak about frameworks, we did speak about policies, and looking at the economic state and challenges we are in now as a country. How, going forward, how do we cut out corruption? How do we ensure that PPP will help this country become as we see it, or as we want to see it as a state?
Yeah, indeed. One of the key things that we want to institute to make sure the PPPs that we are witnessing are without corruption, needless corruption. In fact, no corruption at all, will be corruption free, will be because we want to ensure transparency in the process. Would, for example, publish the projects that are going to be available for people to come in and then bid for.
But we always do that, don't we?
Yeah, but you know, in this respect, we are looking out for people who can spend money, and the money will have some value for us. So we'll be hiring a transaction advisor who would examine some of the proposals, and who would then advise us and say, go in for this one, it will have value for money. and it will be out and there. It will be out there for everybody to see. Sometimes the expectation is that the people who do the supervision are short of the kind of job they have to do. The certified projects that are not properly done, there's sometimes certified projects that are half complete and they go to take money and etc. etc. Those are issues that eventually come back to haunt us as Ghanaians. And government will have its part to play, but the technician, the technical people, the professionals will also have their job to do. If, for example, we hire a consultant to advise government as to how to do A, B, C, or D, the consultant comes to tell us that this is right. He's a Ghanaian. He comes to tell us it's right. Government goes into it, and later on for us we only see that it's all wrong. Then
the issue about who watches the watchman comes in.
That is the question.
If he tells you that indeed, and you're saying that he's a Ghanaian, but
yeah,
that doesn't make him or put him in that position to lie or cover up what is not right. But who in this process will watch over the watchman?
Yeah, that's part of it. And the media houses, should also be watching. We can't trust all Ghanaians with the responsibility of doing what they do. So, in other words, I'm saying that the politician alone cannot be seen to be doing everything. The public servants, the private citizens who are working, they are doing their private business, and for which reason we are doing all these things, should also be concerned. When things are going on, they should follow it up and then see to it that things, the borehole they are providing them at their locality, the market they are building for them, is properly done. And I was very impressed when a small community, a school project was given to them, and then a contractor was putting it up. The kind of texture of material he was using, the brick, the blocks he was using, the mixture of cement, all was below quality. Even though the technical person was certifying them, the villagers protested. And when we went there to check, it was found that they were really not the right kind of materials. So we can do what we can do, but the greater majority of the 10 should come from the people who benefit from the project. We should all be...
But indeed, yes, you're saying that government can do what government can do, but do you think government has done enough and should do enough?
We should be able to do enough. We should be doing enough. I mean, enough. We should work as hard as we can, so the public can see what we are doing, and so the public can complement what we are doing.
And if there's no legal structure to put all these you've touched on in implementation, then where do we go?
There's enough legal structure.
How soon? Just for the PPP?
Yeah, but in agreements, in contract agreement, there are enough laws. In procurement, procuring projects, there are enough laws in this country. Even with our PPP laws, nobody is going to lose if we follow the right due process in acquiring, in giving out a project. So I believe that it's no longer about the laws, it's about the persons, us, our commitment, our attitude towards what is government and what is not government. Regrettably, people see things belonging to the state as if they were nothing. They can cheat, they can take money, and it's normal with them. It's time we begin to change this attitude.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. I have been speaking with Rashid Pelpo. He is the Minister of State in charge of Public-Private Partnership. He's still watching Midday Live. We'll be back shortly.